Hello friends, today we are going to learn about how to generate PDF using .NET Core Web API. So in this project we are going to create a new Web API project and adding a NuGet library called Wkhtmltopdf.NetCore, and we are going to inject the dependency injection into our library, into our Web API, and we are going to create a sample HTML to generate the PDF output, and finally we will going to produce the response as a PDF file output. Okay, let's go into the learning session. We are going to create new .NET project, .NET new Web API, and we need to mention the name, so that will automatically added with the folder name. Now the project is created, and we will try to restore the project once before we run the project. Yes, now we will start run the project to see the output, whether the API is returning the success response or not. For that we use the command called .NET run. So this will launch our project in 1000 sorry it is now, and we are going to trigger the controller weather forecast. It's a default one created by the .NET team, which is by default .NET template. So let's try to trigger that one, and yes, we are able to see the example output. So now the second step, that we need to add a NuGet library called Wkhtmltopdf.NetCore. This library helps us to create PDF from HTML. So what we can try to do now, we will prepare some HTML, and that HTML is going to be converted into PDF and response as a PDF file. So for this we wanted to do two things. First, we need to add particular reference to our project. So for this we will go to our CS project file and add this NuGet library as a new reference. To add a new reference, we can use this command item group and the package name. So it will add a new, okay, I will close the project, and this will add our new project, and we need to run the restore. So this will restore our project to make sure that it's correctly referenced or not. If anything problem, it will notify us to fix the problems. Okay, and the second step, we wanted to configure this WK HTML .NET Core plugin, that NuGet package. So I'm going to the source repository of this particular NuGet package. So here they will maintain what are the steps that we have to do. Okay, so for this, what they are mainly telling, we need to add these three files into our project. Since we are creating a .NET Core project which is compatible with cross-platform, that multiple platform like Linux, Mac, Windows, these three platforms, these WK HTML files will support as to generate the PDF file. So we need to have these particular projects into our in these files into our project. So for this we wanted to download this project, and we can make utilize into our project. Okay, so for this I have already downloaded the code from GitHub. So what we can do, we just take this reference, the files, the I can see here the same whatever they mentioned here, so it is available here. So if we include with that, the NuGet library will automatically decide and check that based on the system it will take the reference and generating the library. So for this, what I do, I will just copy the files to our project location. I'm going to copy this one to our place. So I'm just taking the file and adding it here. So I'm just adding it here. So what they are telling, they wanted us to have it inside the same CS project file. Okay, so for our case we have a CS project file is here, CS project file is there, and we have added these 3 files. So these 3 files will help us to generate the PDF. So for my case I am using a Mac machine, so the library will referencing this one. If you guys are using Linux or Windows, it will support by default, so we explicitly no need to do any configuration for this. So we have only one option that we have to do it, like we need to add the reference itself. This is fine. So the next step what we gonna do, we need to add a dependency injection for this library. So for that I'm going to start a file and referencing the dependency injection. For that they have used this services that add Wkhtml to as PDF. Okay, so what I do, I just go here and I'm looking at the service add Wkhtml to PDF. So I'm just adding this one, and it is asking for me the reference. I am just using the reference and it is referenced. Okay, this is the only step that we need to do it. So once we have done, then it will start workers. Okay, so here like that. The next step we can see here, there is a example that how what is the main file they are using. They are using the generate PDF file. So here what we do, we are going to have in our controller, basically in our controller we need to add this one. Okay, so here I'm just adding private I generate PDF and generate PDF. So this is a variable and it is referencing the .NET Core library. So here what I do, I will add this as a controller dependency constructor dependency injection. So what I do, I will go here and I just add dependency injection in constructor. Okay, generate PDF. So this is the one, and I already defined the variable to use our local variable. This one generate PDF equal to generate PDF. So our dependency injection will now set. Okay, after that, so currently we have this library which is rendering in our web API. So what we can do, we just comment out this existing one, and what we do, we will just return I action result. Okay, so this is the one that we are going to have. And why I'm getting this problem, I'm not sure. Maybe we are missing something. Let's see what happens. No. Yeah, because there is no response. Okay, that is why it's there is no response. We are not returning anything. I action result, and we will return okay. So an empty message saying okay. Okay, so let's try the API, try to hit the API endpoint. That for this situation we don't have any errors. Okay, for that I'll run the command .NET run to make sure that our API is started running. Okay, yeah, so here we can see some error is throwing. Let's debug the problems. Folder containing, okay, it's looking for the folder. Okay, so actually what happens, this particular service dependency injection is looking for the file called Wkhtmltopdf, which is not found, where this particular debug folder. So for this, what we have to do, we need to map these files to be there in the uh, uh, in the debug folder. To move this one, we have an option in Visual Studio. So for this I just open this Visual Studio. I'm just opening the project. I'm opening the project in Visual Studio, and I'm going to check these files properties, and I'm going to tell this particular project we need to, it's a content, and we want to copy always. For likewise we need to do for all these files. This is a mandatory one that we need to place to treat these files as to be built, and it has to move every time we wanted to use it. Okay, I'm just using this one. So I'm taking care of this one. Yes, so we configure this particular things. All the files has to be moved when we run the application. Okay, let's try to execute the program, and we'll see what happened. .NET run. I hope this time it will work. Yeah, exactly. So what we do now, the file is started referencing it. So we will try to hit the API, and we are successfully getting the OK message. So now the next step, we going to study what are the methods inside that into our project. So what we do, we wanted to see the methods. and which method we are going to use to render our API. Okay, so for this, okay, so now we wanted to this image also to be compiled after the so I wanted make sure this file to be copied always. Okay, so now this is set to fine, and now we will run this application and we will see what will happen. And now the debugger will start, and we will just refresh this one. It's restoring the files in the bottom. It's building. Okay, it started now. Just in code. We wanted to bind this one. So since we are having a lot of strings operations, so what we we will suggest, we can use string builder, where html equal to new string builder. So this will provide more flexible of handling strings, more flexible to handle the strings. So the next step, we will copy all the strings what we wrote before. We just html dot append. So whatever the string we wanted to construct, we can append it anytime we require. So for now I just split this into multiple parts, so that we can identify which are we wanted really and which are not. Okay, so I'm just taking this one, and I'm okay, so I'm just closing this one, and finally I will just call this one like that. Okay, so this will be our final ending of HTML tag. So now currently we have body is opened, HTML body is open, and HTML dot append we will provide we are appending the string. just use the same one to replace with the h2 tag. h2 test. Generation. Okay, finally we wanted to make the HTML as from to string. Okay, so string builder to string. So now this let us check whether the recent changes are working. So for that I just run that application and I'm going to see the output. Yeah, so now we are able to see that HTML operation, and finally this one we will see how it will work. So for this I will stop the application and I'm using format dot append format. Okay, so here instead of doing like that, I'm just passing the value, whatever value that we have get, and we just passing it here. Okay, let run the application and see what will happen. So application is getting ready now. Okay, I think we have missed something in the HTML, that is why it is not rendering properly. So let us verify our HTML, what went wrong. Okay, we will solve this one as HTML to PDF generation. This image tag is here, and I am just duplicating this one. To make sure whether it is coming twice or not. Okay, and we will run the application. Yes, now it is started rendering. I think the problem with our the width. Okay, maybe something is not binded correctly, so that is why it is not rendered. So now we are successfully rendering the images. So the next step what we can do, we are going to add the RTL language like Arabic. So we wanted to use some Arabic text, so that it will I'm just using Google Translate Arabic to English. So I'm just I'm using this word. So this is the text it is providing. So we will copy the wordings and we will paste it here, and the more important thing, we need to add the direction RTL. Okay, so it will bind from left to right. So we'll stop the application and again we'll run that one. And let us go and verify whether we are successfully rendering the language or not. Yes, so we are successfully rendering our text, whatever we provide, the same way it is rendered, and this is successfully working now. So this is the one, and next we will stop the application. Okay, so we reset our place. So the next thing, we wanted some HTML table. So the mostly when where we will use, like we generally use for reporting purpose, right? So we will go for W3 schools. So here we will get some HTML tables with styles and all, everything will be there. So we can just copy that. So this is the base table which is already created. So here we have this we will take this HTML. Okay, so we will go here and we will add HTML.append. So the main thing is we wanted to have, so we were adding our reference here. So that's it. So we will have multiple lines, so it will show the error. So I just added it, and we have the styling. So this is most important thing when it's going to apply all the styles in our PDF. So what I will do, I will just use this styles here in the I'm taking the copying the styling, and I'm inserting it here. So this will form our HTML. So we can have a clean code. So just pardon me for this one. So for now we just created the dummy table with some styling and all. So same way we can use the class also in CSS styles. .NET run. So now it will started running, and we will go and verify whether we are able to successfully generate the HTML table or not. Yes, so we successfully generated with the styling. Okay, so these are the main benefits in PDF we can have. So we can customize this one based on our needs. So whichever type we need, so whatever changes we required from HTML to table, so we can easily achieve with this plugin, with this NuGet library, which is really cool. We can use it, it's an open source one, so we can use it in all the places. So if you want to see more examples on this, so please visit to GitHub source repository, and you will have a lot of examples written by this developer, and he has given a lot of changes, like how what are the things, like if we wanted byte array in PDF, so those can be also achieved here. So you can see that applications in your in that sample repository. So thank you guys, thank you for the time to learn how to generate uh, PDF from HTML. Okay, thank you very much. See you in next lecture. Thank you.